Record. Okay. All right. Welcome to tonight's team call, guys. It is Monday, June 5th. Thanks for being on or catching the replay if you're catching the replay. I figured today was as good a day as ever to kind of, go over the business basics a little bit, kind of, reconnect to like the actual business and like coaching. It's June, we have 6.5 months left to this year, which is like wild. And, a lot of that first 6 months of the year, whether you were already in the business or not, maybe, you just joined or whatever, that can tend to be like a peak and feel like maybe you would think it'd be easier for people because of like New Year's resolutions and things like that and getting ready for summer. But this is like the actual time that you want to be steadfast and dialed in if you want to see success in your business. Like you want that every day, obviously, but the summertime is when obviously people don't do as much. They kind of fall off. And this is when they're going to see that you continued yourself all summer long through a program. You committed to a program or you did a couple programs, like however long they are. You continue to drink your Shakeology every day. You continue to make healthy choices pretty much all the time. And you didn't let the excuses like get to you. People are going to see that. They're going to start logging it in their memory bank, and come, end of the summer, going back to school, heading into the fall for the holidays, people are going to be like, man, that girl Chelsea, she didn't give up all summer. That girl Jody, she got married in July and she could have just stopped because her wedding was done, but she didn't. So maybe I need to go like reach out to them and, find out how they're continuing this all the time because they're really good at it, So we need to kind of like wrap our minds around that and think of it that way. So I just kind of first I'm just going to kind of go over some points that I've been thinking about. But I want you guys to think like, if you are here and you are in this business to work and do something for yourself and create something for yourself, whatever that is for you, because everybody's, whatever they want out of this is different. But, helping people has to be there, but you got to have a little bit more skin in the game than that. Because if you just put out there that I want to help someone, like we all want to help people. That's why we're doing this. But you can help people every day, any other way. You can go send a meal down the street for your neighbor whose, child passed away. Or you can, bring in a lunch to school for the teachers for the last week of school. You can do nice things every day to help people and motivate and inspire people. But this is different. Like this is something that you actually need to put skin in the game if you want to actually see a return on it, whatever return you want out of it. So you kind of have to figure out what's your turning point in the game. What makes you want to give this, I always say you have to give this business a year. You have to give it 12 focused months of showing up to the daily behaviors, the vital behaviors, doing your, business activities 5 to 7 days a week, for a year to see, compounded growth over time, not just like success your month 1, month 2, and month 3, covering your products and making an extra $100. Like if that's what you want, then you'll continue to do what you're doing right now and you'll get that. But if you want to make it more, you can. So you have to find your turning point. I know like turning point for a lot of people is like when there is, they're under max stress or they have limited time to do things with their kids or, be with their spouse. because they have to work longer hours or pick up overtime, or, they have so many commitments to things that they just don't have time to do what they actually want. Maybe your turning point is that, you have come to realize like you have really poor health decisions. I think everybody on our team, sorry, my nose is like, I cooked bacon earlier and I think I burnt some and the house is like a little smoky. So it's bothering my nose. So, a lot of people on this team do a great job at not letting letting poor health decisions be their turning point. Like most of us on here are all really good at keeping our health in check, which is obviously number one. But, what's your turning point for being committed to this business? I always say to, everybody that I talk to, and it's true that I had nothing to lose when I started out, when I got into this, and only everything to gain. Even if it was just me walking away at the end of the day, paying, back then I paid $140 for shake and just the fix, and, losing that first initial 10 inches or whatever. Sorry. Thanks. And some people, I've been talking to more people recently as my business has gotten bigger and growing, and I've just been in it longer, and people are like, but I do have something to lose. Somebody actually said this to me on a call. They were like, I do have something to lose. I have people's trust that want my help, but, I don't want to just do this and think I have nothing to lose. Well, I mean, of course I'm not going out there thinking that, I could just sell a couple challenge packs, and if it doesn't help anybody, I have nothing to lose. No, I would feel horrible about that. But that's not my mentality. My mentality is I'm putting myself out there. The nothing to lose mentality is that I'm putting myself out there and not being afraid of what other people think. That's what I mean by it. So, really be committed. Be committed to a solid year of showing up every single day to really evaluate whether or not this works for you. And here's the thing, guys. It works, but only if you put in the work. You don't want to just say, I'm going to give the business 12 months and see if it works. It will work, but you have to put in the work to get the results. I know a lot of people, we used to talk a lot about the different types of coaching and discount, a hobby coach or dabbler, and then the all-in coach. Well, now I think that too many people just will say they want to coach and they'll work or they'll commit as long as it's convenient for them, as opposed to being really truly committed and giving it a year of work. They'll say, I'm all in, I'm going to do something and build a business of sorts. But they work when it's convenient, and you can't just work when it's convenient. You have to work when it's hard. So are you really committed? Are you doing things in your business that don't make sense for where you're at in your business? Because I know that there were times where I've had to reevaluate, and, I was just doing things that didn't make sense. I was spending my time on putting together newsletters and sending newsletters out every week. And that was a waste of my time. How many things like that do you get in your email box and you just junk, delete? And I mean, I get some, and I do actually like to read them, but come on, for the majority of people, they're just delete it. So that was something I had to reevaluate. It didn't make sense for me to do that and waste my time. It wasn't bringing me any business or any conversations, or even never once did I get a reply back awesome newsletter, thanks for the Thanksgiving recipe. Nothing. So you have to do the things that make sense. So another way to think about it is, are you showing up on team calls when you haven't done your PD, your personal development, or your connections and your vital behaviors? Because if that's what you're doing, if you're showing up every Monday night to a call, but you haven't read your personal development, or you haven't, if you haven't read your personal development and then you haven't, made connections with people, then I would rather you not get on the call. And I would rather you spend this half hour, 40 minutes that I'm talking to you, or we're doing something like actually doing the work that you need to do. That makes more sense. You can catch this replay just like you catch a national wake-up call, on a replay. Listen to it on a drive or something. So then I want you to think about, are you giving yourself enough time to succeed in this business? Or are you only, like I said, are you only doing it as long as it's convenient? So, okay, let me take a sip of water. I know a lot of people, when we go into this at first, we tend to overcomplicate things, and we just have to keep it really simple, guys. And each month we have to, Melanie Mitchell said this to us at the leadership conference that I went to in January. She said, it's simple as this, guys: convenient, simple, and consistency. Wash, rinse, and repeat. You throw your stuff in the dryer, you wash it, you rinse it, and then you repeat and you do the same thing, and it comes out clean or not clean, and you have to toss it or whatever. So stay consistent with what you're doing each month. Stay committed to running a challenge group every month, running a free group, once a month or once a quarter, depending on where you're at in your business. But rinse and repeat and figure out what's not working. If it's not working, rinse it and let it be gone. If it's working, repeat. So in the beginning of the year, we did a team call that we all printed out calendars for the next 6 months. And as people come on the team at different times, obviously they didn't do that or whatever. But I think it's really important that you set up, whether it's in, you print out calendars off Google or you have a planner or something, but you set up at least the next 3 months of your coaching, what you want to do. At least have a set date for a challenge group each month. That way you have something to work towards. That way you're putting it out there, and when you have to work backwards and start talking about it and start reaching out to people and things like that. Because if you just fly by the seat of your pants and say, well, in July, I'm going to run a challenge group on the 10th. Well, I mean, you can, and that's fine. But you're going to have to work backwards, and you're going to have to actually be talking to people all of June in order to have people prepared for June 10th, especially since it's right around 4th of July, right after. Some people might still be away, or they might be going away that week. So just kind of plan ahead and make sense of things. I like to make it make sense for me, because then I'm more easily able to stick to it. Same thing for when I do free groups. I try to structure my free groups around something that I need to work on. So last month, it was I needed to get up and do my workouts before anything happened in this house. So I worked with the girls. We had our Zoom. We've got our Zoom back, and people who need to hop on and do it, do it. Am I hopping on every day at 5 a.m. again? No, but because right now I don't need to. I am going to have to start doing that again. So I did what I needed to do that week to help myself out and help other people instill those habits. And I could support them on that. Maybe you just need to do a no sugar, detox week, or maybe you need to do a water week. Maybe you want to do something totally outside the box, which everybody should really think free groups. They should do outside the box, mason jar salads. This one girl in the company, she has a free group that every month it's a week based on peanut butter. And it's just different recipes of peanut butter things, healthy things, alternatives. But it's just people who love peanut butter, they just come and hang out for a week and they just swap recipes and things like that. So, it could be anything. It could be, is there a book out there that you want to dive into that you think, might be beneficial to other people? Maybe for a week you get some girls together or whatever, and every day you read a chapter. And just for a week, it doesn't have to be for the whole entire book. It's not a book club, whatever. So let's see. The other thing that I'll say about planning is that, so like I said, I tend to make things for when they work for me. I have also found a lot of success in starting my challenge groups the like third Monday of the month, hoping that it's not like Thanksgiving week or Christmas week or whatever, but that gives me plenty of time to not feel like, it gives me plenty of time to not like hit, so this month, mine will start the third week in June. Right now till like next week, I feel like I have a whole solid week to get at least 3 new challengers for my June challenge group. Does that make sense? Like I don't feel pressured like I should, like last month, like say like I didn't talk to enough people or I didn't invite enough. I don't feel pressured. I have a whole week where there's still time by the third week of this month that I could get people on board and in check. And then anybody else that just like happens to come along through still talking and things like that, maybe they don't have their stuff to start that third Monday, but they can start the next Monday or the next Monday. But I feel like the third Monday of the month, just for some reason, Melanie Mitro does it. And sorry, I love Melanie Mitro, but she just has success with it. And I feel like if you're the top coach in the network, it must mean something's right. So I've been doing that ever since I got back from leadership and in January, and it's been working out really well. Let's see. Okay. Always be working from a list. So this kind of goes into planning or proper prior planning. Like you want to have a list of people, whether it's like a notebook or an Excel spreadsheet. You just want to have a place where you're writing people's names down. I like to have a list where I'm writing people's names down that are just like people I'm connecting with. And I like to have a list where I'm writing people's names down that I'm actually sending the invite to. So where am I getting these names from, sending the invite to? Probably people I've already connected with. Like I'll never just send a cold invite. It'll be it may not be, someone that I was just talking to like yesterday, but maybe I've already connected with them of like 2 or 3 months ago, 4 months ago, maybe even a year ago. Maybe I haven't reached out since then. And maybe I'm sending them a message now. I don't really consider that cold if I've already established some sort of conversation back and forth with them. But, those invites are specific to joining my like strong mom, fit mom community or whatever. But work from a list. That way you always have those names. And then, each person as you go down the list, like, you can mark off like what did they end up doing or what did they not want to do or, a reason why. That way you can just reference back real quick next time. Okay, so then I just going to kind of, does anybody have like any questions or anything like they want to add maybe or that they thought of? No? Good. Okay. So then I just wanted to kind of just wrap up and end the call. It's going to be a quick call with our vitals, guys. Like, I think it's so important. So let's see. Before I went to Punta Cana, I was getting on a Zoom call every morning at 5:30 a.m. with some girlfriends. And we were doing our power hour. So we were doing our personal development, we were doing our connections, we were doing our invites, we were doing our check-ins to our team pages, our challenge groups, et cetera, whatever. And I had been doing my personal development every day, reading like 10 pages or a chapter for or 10 pages or 10 minutes, whatever, in that time slot. And then after Punta Cana, just kind of like got out of it again. And I cannot stress enough, guys. Like, so probably the last like 3-ish weeks, I'd say two, the last 2-ish weeks, I wasn't doing it. And I just was like, I was still talking to people and having conversations and doing all that other stuff, but I was just letting other things like get me down, and I was letting like other people's opinions like bother me too much. And I wasn't really like seeking out receiving points for helping people. I was just seeking out points. And, it was all just messing with my mind. So I spoke to Jeff Matheson, our corporate regional manager, a couple weeks ago with some girls, and I just he had us recommit to some goals. And so every day for the next 7 days, I said, before my head hits the pillow, I'm doing my personal development. I actually have it right here. Here's my Jeff Push goals. So I wanted to do my personal development and send 5 invitations every day before bed, preferably before my son wakes up, but since life is crazy, before my head hits the pillow. 6 out of the 7 days is what I wanted to do. And I've done it every day now for 5 days, and I just feel so much better. And I feel like I have so much more positivity to share. And I just feel like anybody that says something negative to me, like in a message or an objection or anything like that, I'm just more in the game to get back to them the right way, and not just a way to get 2 points, but receive the points for really helping them. So it's huge, guys. You have got to do personal development. That's a must. I want you to do that before you send any invites, before you add to your network. So if you didn't, do your PD today and you did nothing else, don't even bother sending invites. There's another coach in the network, Fit and Funky, Danielle Natoni, and she says that too to her team. She says, I get up, I work out, I drink my shake, I do my personal development, and if I haven't done the 3 of them, I don't do anything else for the business. Because how can I? I'm not doing the things that matter first. Sorry, my computer's blocking up. Okay, so the next thing that I want to just say is the second vital behavior. So being a product of the product. Super important, guys, that you are committed to a program. And I would say 4 times a year, 3 to 4 times a year, depending on the length of the program, you need to be committed to something. People need to see you actually starting to finish, going through it, whether you get sick in the middle, whether you have, I did, a pipe burst in your house in the middle of something, or, whatever. My grandmom died, a death in the family, so they can see from start to finish how you handled something like that. Even on the days when you didn't want to push through, did you do it anyway because you knew that this was not just for your business, but for you? When I went to New York those 5 days when my grandma passed away, and I was staying in a hotel with my sister, I know, I'm sure people probably thought oh, she's just on vacation. She's staying in a hotel for 5 days. She can work out in the hotel gym. Yeah, I can, but I didn't do that for business. I did that because I just watched my grandmom die, and I really wanted to do something to help me emotionally get through it. And I'm sorry, but she was a legit fighter until the end. And she's definition of, she would have been pissed at me if I went up there and sat up there at my aunt's dining room table for 5 days and did nothing but drink wine. So she would have been pissed. So and clearly, obviously, there are times when obviously that's not the decision. That's not the decision you would make. But I think for the majority of time and things that happen, this shouldn't be the first thing that goes when something gets stressful, or hard, or a trial in your life. So committing to a program start to finish, a couple times a year, I think is so key for people to see how this just helps you be stronger in anything that comes up in your life. And then you want to document that. You want to start at day 1 and end at day whatever. And you want to have a before and after. You want to try your hardest, guys, but come on, it's life. But don't let oh, I had graduations last weekend, I had baby shower this weekend. Okay, but you can still eat right. You can still have a glass of champagne or red wine or whatever, but you can still have salad and, the roasted chicken and whatever they have that they picked that's not covered in, cream and sauce and all this stuff. And you can maybe skip the cake or have a bite. You don't need to have like 2 plates of it. But like, I just had somebody use that as an example. They were like, well, I had 2 graduation parties to go to and then a baby shower, and I'm back on track this week. And I'm like, I get it, but I went out with my girlfriends for dinner 2 weeks ago, and I had a burger and a side salad and Tito's and vodka. Like, I could have had the nachos and the fries and the fried calamari that they had, but I didn't. Like, come on, just make the right decisions. So, I mean, you just need to like show people that it's possible. And then, let's see, Shakeology, of course. Like, if you aren't drinking it, if you're not committed to it, if you're not, if it's not doing something for you, then one, we should talk about it, because I don't ever want somebody to like work this business and have others buy Shakeology from them and they don't drink it or believe in it. Like, that's just not, it doesn't feel right to me. So, whatever you do with it, like maybe whatever it's helped you for, I don't know, but you have to have given it a chance every day for 30 days. You have to give it a chance. Even if you're brand new and you sign up a coach that's brand new and they come into this and they're like, I want to do what you're doing. I really need to get out of some debt. But I've never even done Shakeology. Well, just try it for 30 days. Like, it's all you got to do every day. Have it every day for 30 days as your afternoon snack or before bed. And then you can just tell people what it actually did, instead of like trying to tell them, but you don't really have any ground to stand on. So not only does it feel icky, but it's probably coming across like fake too. So just try it, and you have to be committed. Okay, then number 3, the invite. So I know this is like so hard for all of us. I attract people that are like-minded, and we get scared and nervous, but it's okay. We all like get better at it. But we have got to connect with people. So another example I will tell you is that I think it was probably like May 12th. I had hit like Success Club 10, and I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to stop messaging people. Like, I'm going to work on other things. And yes, the other things that I did were effective and things that I needed to do. But then I got super comfortable and I was like, I'm just not going to do anything, and I can take today off. Like, I don't need to do this. I'll just work out and drink my shake anyway and post, because that's easy. But I didn't do the hard stuff. And it's June 5th, and this is the first month in like 8 months that I don't have any points on the board. I have nothing. So June 1st, I just was like, this is no excuses. Like, this is not who you are. Like, you have to invite, it's really the only way to get people to start talking to you. You have to connect with them. They have to start seeing your posts, and then you have to invite with them. So every day in June so far, except Sundays, I'm not connecting on Sundays. This was another part of my Jeff's goal thing, just 10 connects a day. 10 people I've never had a conversation with before on my friends list. So I just did first, second, third, skipped yesterday, and today's the 5th. And I have 9 to go before bed. And I'm going to do it because I out of the last 3 days of it, these 30 people that I've connected with and 5 a day that I've actually invited to challenge groups, not from these 30 new connects, but from like past conversations that I've done in follow-ups and scanning my inbox and stuff, I probably have like 5 or 6 links out, which is great, except until they actually come through. So I have to keep talking to people. I can't just bank on those like couple links out. It doesn't work like that. The veterans in this group can tell you that. So work off a list, follow that list, and connect every day. Connect on something. whether it's your kids, your job, something you saw on their timeline. Guys, I saw somebody post the other day, like the Cards Against Humanity game. Well, there's like this other game now that's kind of like that, and it's like about memes, those like funny like pictures, that you see on Facebook and stuff with like the words and stuff. So it's like memes now. It's like Cards Against Humanity, but memes. So you get like this one picture and everybody has a handful of cards that they have to match up the funniest thing to the picture. I literally messaged the girl to just start a conversation, and I was like, where did you get that? Because I need it for my Outer Banks trip, because it'll be amazing. And we just started talking about the game. And then I realized that she is somebody that a year ago I had asked to join a challenge group and talk to her about her goals. And I sent her a link and she never got back to me. And like 3 months after that, I kept checking in, no response, no response, no response. And it wasn't until the meme question that she finally responded, like 8 months later. And now I jumped back in with, hey, I know a long time ago we talked about like your health and fitness, and you had said like you needed to do something to like be able to, get yourself out of this like groove you're in. How are you doing? And I don't feel like that was like sleazy or didn't feel good of me. Like, I think that I felt fine with that. So you just have to like find a way to connect with people. Clearly you don't want to like pull somebody's name up and it be like so far out that you're like, you don't even know what to say other than, like if that game didn't make sense, that was probably the last thing I saw on her page that I was like, what could I really connect with on here? But we like those games and we play them all the time in the Outer Banks with our friends. So I wanted to know where she got it. So you can connect on anything, guys. Connect on anything, then let people see you. That's why you have to be consistent and stay on your journey. And then, go back and invite them. And we've talked about like how to invite many, many times. But recently, I think a lot of us have been like asking people if they like, in the end, not asking like, are you on a health and fitness journey too, or something like that. It's like more like a general, hey, I have this like virtual online community of fit moms, and we, work out from home. We work out from home if we need to. We hold each other accountable to our goals and blah, 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 like super short. But then we're like, do you think this is something that you could ever benefit from? And like, most of the time, how could people say no to benefiting from a support group of like people who just want to like support them and cheer them on? Like nobody can really say no to that. So, that is like an invite. That's what I call my invite. And then if they say yes, I send them like a more structured invite. And it says something like, so if I were to set you up with tons of meal plans, all of our workouts that have ever been created, the recipes, and 30 days of the health shake that I drink to try out, do you think that this could benefit you? I asked that again. So I went from the like community, which most people need, up like that's what most people need. And when they said that something like that could benefit them, I went into a little bit more detail. And then if they say yes or no or whatever, we just take it from there. Like it's not a done conversation right there. I'm working on one conversation with someone who I was hoping I would have wrapped up and ordered tonight, because I wanted to like actually have it all to show you guys like the whole way it transposed. Because the whole time in my head, I'm like, this is going perfect. This is what I tell the team all the time. Like, yes, yes, yes. And we literally got to the very end and I go to send her the link and she's already got an account with Beachbody. So have to do the whole switcheroo. But I want to get that. I'm going to like try to print it out in like pictures or something and put it up in the team page. That way you guys can see like just the flow of the conversation and how long, like not how long we talked, but like what we actually talked about before it got down to making the purchase. So I'll share that with you guys. And then the fourth thing is recognition. So something else that Jeff like really pushed us to do is, he said, what is like the one thing that the one vital behavior that you really have a hard time with. And well, for me, it's PD and I guess recognition, honestly. So I just made it a point that, like, you know I love to be recognized for things. I love to know when my hard work um, is seen and done, like, acknowledged. So I know other people want that too, like our challengers, our coaches, whether it's, a shout out in your challenge group because someone just signed on as a discount coach to get their shake at 25% off. You can shout them out for that in your challenge group. And then I guarantee you, because it's happened to me before, someone will side message you and they'll be like, hey, what do you mean she signed up for a discount and got it at 25% off? What does that mean? And then that like evolves into another conversation. It could be something as simple as, Jen gave her coach Kate a shout out in the team page today for 2 Success Club points already on the board. Brand new coach, she's already got 2 Success Club points on the board. Same thing with Chelsea, 5 days into the month, brand new coaches, and they've got it. And I've got 0. So, it's just shout outs like that because it does mean a lot. And then maybe it's not Success Club points or, coaches or, things like that within the business. Anything. Maybe it's somebody's birthday in the team and you want to shout them out on the team page and get them recognized. Just like when Carrie had her baby, I made sure that we all knew, in the team page, she just had her baby side that she still hustled her job, but I made sure we all knew that she had the baby and they were healthy and happy and everything. I'm also trying to take that focus a little bit just totally outside of Beachbody. And I'm trying to once a day find someone on social media that I can just recognize. And for no other reason than to just who outside of us in Beachbody. I know before Beachbody, I loved when someone even more now, when they liked or comment a post or photo or whatever. But people just like that. People want the affirmation that someone saw what they put out there. So, I saw one girl tonight. What did she say? Her post was health and fitness related. She's not a coach. She doesn't do Beachbody. Oh, she just said, you're in the adult world when you literally wake up, work out, shower, go to work, come home, shower, go to bed, wake up and work out, and nothing else gets done. And I was just like, you know what? You're doing the right things though. You're taking care of yourself and you're doing your job. And so I just commented to her and I was like, I know that's not always fun, but you're doing the important things. So had nothing to do with Beachbody or anything. So recognize. And so maybe you don't have a team yet. Maybe you don't have maybe you don't have challengers in a challenge group yet that you can recognize them for something. And guys, the challenge group stuff can be as simple as I had one girl who could get 16 ounces of water a day. And yesterday she got 80. 80. She was probably floating away. So things as little as that. So just keep those things in mind. And so like I said, if it's, brand new, don't have something to do with coaching or challenge group yet, find somebody in your newsfeed that you can just bring them a little bit of a smile. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. So that's it. But those 4 things, guys, are so important. And we have to do them consistently over time to get this business, for this business to actually work. You have to put in that work. So I hope this was a good refresher, or new information if you're catching the replay and you're new or something. But if there's any questions, drop them in the comments below and I'll go over them in the team page. I'll also work on that conversation with the one girl and try to get that out to you guys as soon as possible to see the progression and flow. I think it's easier to see things more than just say things sometimes, via video. But does anybody have any questions or anything before I hop off or the recording? No? All right. So I'm going to end the recording